Let's start with ES6 and ES7. Okay, so before we dig for any of the Aurelia specific features, it is necessary to talk about some programming paradigms that we get from ES6 and ES7. We will take a look on some of the dependency injection and how it is useful. Finally, we will take a look on the decorators and sync and await features. Basically, we will have a look on whatever the important features are needed for ES6 and ES7. Aurelia gives you the ability to develop your applications using ES6 and ES7 features natively using transpiling or Microsoft TypeScript thing. We will be looking at ES6 and ES7 capabilities in this chapter, but be aware that you also have the option which is called as the TypeScript. If you're a JavaScript developer, you will basically know what is this TypeScript all about. Below, you have the list of whatever the features which are needed for developing the applications in Aurelia. So for now, we'll focus about the features which are needed for Aurelia web application. Starting with classes, then comes scoping, after that comes templates, then string interpolation, and after that decorators and async and await. All the features of ES6 and ES7 will be completed in this course, and we will start with each one of them in our code base, understanding what is classes, scoping, various type of templates, string interpolation, decorators, async and await functionality, which is the basic functionality of ES6. So let's go to our code base and understand each one of them. So starting with the first thing, we have this file demo.js, and here we will have the complete understanding. This file will not be a part of our SRC, it is just for understanding of ES6 and ES7. First comes is the classes. If you are familiar with developing in Java or say C#, then you will be comfortable with the concept of classes. That is nothing but concept of object-oriented programming. In the new JavaScript, that is ES6, this is nice added feature, or I can say the plus point feature, that allows you to maintain a class separation of a concern with a very little kind of concepts. But before we add any kind of classes, we had to use the revealing model pattern to ensure that we are not polluting the global namespace. Let's take a look about the class representation. So our class representation when it comes to JavaScript is like class. So first of all, I'll take a comment over here. So this is for class representation. So our class will be looking as class welcome. Say my class name is welcome, so it will be visible as class welcome with the start and end. And over here, I'll specify whatever is needed. Say my welcome will be not a function, so it will be class welcome, and here I'll start with the constructor, that is constructor, which will initialize my class with whatever the methods are needed, and that's all. This will include whatever the methods are needed for initializing a class. Okay, after this, the next concept which comes in mind, that this syntax is clean and simple. After that comes the next concept is about scoping. So what is the scoping all about in ES6 and ES7? For me, what is that important when it comes to Aurelia project? After long awaited features, another long awaited feature of Aurelia, that is scoping in JavaScript. In ES5, if you remember, regardless of whether our variables were declared inside the functions or blocks, they would be hosted to the top block level, and this would be the cause of lot of problems. We now have a new keyword. New keyword is the introduction when it comes to ES6, which helps you or gives us the true block level scoping. Example will be I'll give you the better example over here as class welcome. Okay, here I'll start with my logic, and this will include a constructor. So my constructor will be called over here, and this will include one function or say one variable. Say this dot result equals 0. Okay, after initializing this, I'll do one thing is I'll call for a function that is add first, and then the next parameter is second. So I'll take 2 parameters over here. And after that, I'll do one thing is like I'll call for the logic. So I'll say let result. So this is the ES6 type of functionality which says let result equals -1. And after that, I'll say if. I'll call for if condition. That is first and second. I'll take two logic over here, first and second, and here I'll say let result equals first plus second. Now comes the major concept of what is the scope, and this add functionality will return my result. So here you can see, before we go on and use the class and add the function, let's look at what we have created. So in ES5, we can, if you remember, there is potentially a cause of lot of headaches and problems because everything over there is mentioned with the top like a block level approach. Now we created a function level variable and called it as result, and we initialized it to -1. Then we created a block level variable and initialized first and second variables over here. And I check that if first and second, which means if there are some values in that particular variable, then finally we will return the summation of them inside result and return the value. Our code is now more consistent and behaves as it would be expected. So that is what is scoping all about. The scope is perfectly defined. You can see that add function returns -1 when we call it, but you can also access the class level variable and we will get the value associated to it. After scoping comes the next logic, that is the template strings. Strings in JavaScript have been a pain. Okay, so when it comes to like handling a particular string inside JavaScript, then it is like a kind of a headache thing because people don't want to get inside, or the developers don't want to get inside the string interpolation because it's not that user friendly when it comes to JavaScript point of view. So that is why we have always been like limited, and as compared to any other thing, we always focus on template string. We change this completely and gives us a lot of power when it comes to string manipulation. So ES6 and ES7 has that power for string manipulation. Some of the key features are string interpolation, embedded expressions, multi-line strings, and so on. So consider for this is my string, say let message equals some value, say hello world. Okay. After this, I want to say for string interpolation, say I'll call for my variable like let f name equals abc, and the next value is say let last name, or I say it as let l name equals some value, that is PQR. And now I'll do the string interpolation in such a way like let my message value will be declared over here. So this was the string declaration, but string interpolation will be let message hello. Over here I'll interpolate it with respect to dollar curly braces. This is how it is declared inside Aurelia also. So we'll focus the same thing over here. Hello f name, and then we'll give a space mentioning the last name should also will be included over here as l name, and after that we'll say how are you. Okay, so this is the string interpolation. This was for string declaration, and after that comes the string interpolation. Now after this comes the embedded expression. So how the embedded expressions will be visible? Say for my example, my variable is say let 3 equals value as 3. It is a numeric value. Let 4 equals value 4. And after that I want to say let message. So I want to print a message as let message equals hello with a dollar, that is my value will be the product, or I want to say the product of 3 into 4 is $3 into 4. This is how it is represented when it comes to embedded expression. So this is how embedded expressions is visible, and this will be followed for our Aurelia project also. Embedded expressions. After that comes multi-line string. So we saw for string interpolation. After that comes the multi-line string. So multi-line string is like a continuous thing, and you have to just do it with the help of ES6 example. So let's have a look about the multi-line string as let user equals. So I'll just say it as say ABC, and I want to give a multi-line string for this particular user as let message. My message will be printed as thank you with the name of the user inside dollar and the name of user of that particular variable for contact or contacting the support team. This is just a demo example which I am showing you. Then I put a exclamation mark, and after that I continue saying that so over here I would like to say we value your business and are more than happy so this is for your service. Okay, so we will include it over here with some value, and this would be the complete understanding of our exclamation thing. Okay, so this is how a basic understanding takes place when it comes to string interpolation. After that, the next example which comes in our picture is for understanding the basic functionality of, say, decorators. So this is for string interpolation, and after that we'll start with our decorators. So this was for decorators as decorators allows us to annotate a particular piece of a code to reduce redundancies. The basic decorators which are designed is like it is done inside the constructor, and before that it just uses import, and it calls for inject functionality because it does it with the help of dependency injection. So inject, and after that it says from Aurelia framework. Okay, so you will see other advantages of the decorators when working with TypeScript in Aurelia as well. If you wish to add the dependency without the inject decorator, you can write it as simple mentioning the class of the particular decorator inside our constructor. Then there comes a feature which is called as async and await. Writing code that allows you to make asynchronous calls while keeping the code clean has long plagued the JavaScript users. So using libraries and promises we have come closer, but now with async and await coming in ES6, or we can say even for ES7, we have got a better paradigm that makes asynchronous programming much less difficult. So for that, the async does the simple functionality which is done with the help of activate. So activate function follows a life cycle. So this is a basic example which I can show you over here as async and await. Here I can say it does that activate, and it calls for a functionality, and this functionality will include all the logic associated to async and await. So this will be done inside your class. That is also an important note which you should keep in your mind. It will return a promise from activate function which will be useful for asynchronous and, or we can say asynchronous calls from the particular function. There is also Babel. So this was for async. I'll just remove this particular part. Now focusing on Babel. Babel will transpile this code, whatever which we have created inside the Aurelia JS application, and it will transpile it to a particular code level in such a way that this would be much cleaner and helps to reduce the madness involved while writing a lot of asynchronous code. So this was the brief description about ES6 and ES7. Moving on to the next chapter, we'll understand about components and the components life cycle when it comes to Aurelia JavaScript application.